welcome back to the We Don't Know Stuff podcast.
Yo.
It's episode 6.
Episode 6, damn.
We're out here. 6 episodes in now. So, how are things going, Chuey? Haven't seen you for like a week.
They've been going. They've been pretty busy, honestly. Kind of a little low on the gas tank, but I'm good overall. It's been one of those weeks, but hey, that becomes normal after a while.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, same old. Just, in here grinding.
What have you been thinking about? What's been on your mind?
I've been watching a lot of basketball, obviously, because we haven't talked since All-Star break.
What kind of basketball?
I've been watching a lot of the Euro basket that's going on right now.
Oh, really? There's a tournament happening?
Yeah.
There? Which one?
It's
That's what it's called, Eurobasket?
Yeah, something like that. Euro.
And what's
ball,
that?
Eurobasket.
Like just all the European teams play?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Europa League, but for
like
basketball teams out there, right? So you have your, like, Bayern is in it and fucking...
Oh, okay. It's
like,
got those legit teams.
Madrid and
I mean,
Barca.
that makes sense.
Yeah, like, they're all in that mix, A lot of, like, Turkish teams and shit. There's this 15-year-old kid. Man, what's his name? It's like Nico.
Who's he play for?
Man, I couldn't pronounce the name, honestly. But he's like probably the next, like, Luka.
But what team is he on?
I'm telling you, I can't pronounce the name.
Oh, you can't even pronounce the name of the
I
team. I thought
know
you were just saying the player.
It's some team, like, it's one of those, like,
Damn.
Slavic teams, So it's like, I don't really know how to pronounce it.
It's like, yeah, it's like some Klingon shit.
Yeah,
Like,
but...
you gotta do clicks and all that.
But
Wow.
it's, the dude's like 15 and he's like playing with pros just like how Luka was.
Wow.
So
I mean, that's impressive. That's what I like about Euro basketball, though.
That they give the youngsters a shot like that. It's
just...
because they don't got a lot of people that play basketball. So they're like, we'll just let whoever plays play. Fuck it.
Yeah, and who cares? Let them start developing early. They do that with soccer already, and it's proven effective, obviously. And it saved those teams probably a ton of money, too.
And then I tried to watch the Duke UNC game the other night because I wanted to watch Zion.
That's always a good game, too. Just overall.
Yeah,
just
but
overall, whether you like college basketball or not.
I really don't.
Because of the one and done.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like college basketball.
But that's still a fun game because it's such a good rivalry still.
Yeah.
And any good college rivalry is fun to watch. Basketball, football, golf.
But it's like, once he got hurt, it just felt like all the life just left Duke. So it was like,
It got kind of boring after that. Yeah. That happens because it'll just, it took the air out of him.
Right in the beginning, he straight did that. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
I haven't seen.
He did like
I haven't watched any basketball lately.
He did like a hard plant, and his shoe ripped apart, and his foot went through his shoe, and he sprained his knee.
What the fuck, dude? This sounds like some fucking Bugs Bunny shit.
Yeah. I mean, it looked crazy. It was like, damn, like
the fuck it went through. Oh man.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So the real question is, and that's what everybody's been asking on all the networks and all the podcasts and all on Twitter and everywhere you look, everybody's asking the same question. Should he shut it down or should he just play out the rest of the season?
Shut it down.
Right?
Shut it down. That's an easy move. Like, why even... You've done enough already to attract plenty of suitors. You're fine. You're going to the NBA. Like, you're in already. Pretty much.
For sure. Number one pick.
So just shut it down.
Right?
Be smart. Yeah. Go talk to some of your people and then go find an agent and talk to him so he could break it down for you. Of course, he's going to try to convince you to sign with him regardless, but just hear him out, and he's probably going to make a lot of sense of the deal. Like, hey, you're already in. We could save you for a year. Boom. And then we could start working on your contract this whole time. And we could start filming you doing rehab and just running this whole PR campaign that'll just help too. Like, oh, please, come on.
Right.
Do that. Just do that.
It doesn't... I mean, even at this point...
It would be stupid not to.
There's really no reason to even go. If you're going to be one and done, there's no real reason to go to college basketball anymore.
No, that's it.
Right.
That's it. That's what I said. Like, you already showcased enough in this short period of time.
Yesterday, I don't know if it was timed perfectly or if it was just already going to come out anyway, regardless of what happened to Zion the night before. But the NBA came out and said that they're ready to let 18-year-olds come into the league.
Oh, they voted on that?
The NBA itself they submitted to the players union, so now it's up to the players union to.
Okay.
I guess they would amend the CBA. I don't know how that process works, but something like that, I would assume.
Yo, what the fuck? Wow.
Isn't that pretty dope?
That is cool.
So, but
college basketball's done pretty much.
Man, you know what would make
that move? That's it.
A good top 5 we should come up with, not this episode, but we should come up with maybe next episode, is the top 5 high school NBA players. Like the top 5 NBA players to be drafted
straight out of high school. Yeah. That would be a good one.
It's an interesting one.
I'd enjoy
like
that one. Yeah.
So if you guys are listening, think about that and comment and let us know who you guys think are the best NBA high schoolers.
Yeah.
Kobe, KG, Lou Williams, Andrew Bynum.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Do that or talk some shit. Whatever. Just sound off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sound off.
But Duke actually has an $8 million loss of value insurance policy on Zion. So if he gets hurt or if he falls past the 16th pick in the draft, he starts getting paid out. But the number isn't exactly clear of how much he'll get paid out at what point. But it's estimated that for him to get the entire $8 million, he'd have to fall out of the first round, and that's not happening. Even if he blows a knee right now, it's not happening.
I mean, but that shouldn't be your motivation anyway.
No,
it's just like you're going to the NBA. Take care of yourself so you can get in there straight. Don't become AD. Oh, damn.
Well, he's going to the Knicks. He's probably going to go to the Knicks.
Why do you say that?
Well, Knicks are sauce. They're gonna probably end up with that number 1 pick.
They'll
get that frozen envelope again.
They'll do something stupid.
They'll get that Patrick Ewing, that frozen envelope.
Oh, man.
And Nike shares that next morning they had dropped like 1%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 1% to Nike is
that's huge.
Over 1 billion.
Damn.
Billion. 1%. That's how much they lose.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. I mean,
it's a whole lot of money to be messing around with right there. So, yeah. So they got a lot riding on it. And Duke is a fully Nike-sponsored school. And obviously no college player can sign shoe deals. But while he's at Duke, he can only wear Nikes. So, he had no choice but to essentially... I mean, sure, they're giving him whatever Nikes he wants, right? Because he had those ones that lace up with the app.
Oh, those Marty McFly ones?
No, not those. But they came out with a newer version, essentially. Okay. Not those boot-looking ones.
Like a retail
kind of version. Like a basketball shoe version.
Okay.
And he hooped in those. And he hoops in some bronze.
Fuck, and those things work? Like the laces on those shits?
But I guess Android users were having difficulties as well, too, with connecting. I don't know.
People were losing blood loss to their fucking feet.
No.
Amputated fucking feet?
No. They were getting... It just wouldn't connect. Like, their phone wouldn't connect to the shoe.
Oh, fuck that. Imagine getting your foot chopped off because your fucking Android app just went apeshit.
I'm just thinking, like, man, like, you paid, what, $1,000 for them shoes or however much it is, and you got an old-ass Android and shit you trying to connect it to? Like, come on now.
You got a fucking Android flip phone and shit.
Yeah, you got an S4 and shit.
Oh, man. I don't even know what one of those looks like anymore. That's legit. Fuck, man.
But, yeah, so Nike kind of got a lot on the line in this. And Zion was wearing Paul George's shoe, actually, the PG 2.5. Okay. So
it's a nice-looking shoe.
I wonder, I mean, obviously, it probably doesn't matter for Paul George because he doesn't weigh, 280 pounds. But I wonder if they just didn't test for someone as explosive and as heavy as...
Oh, his foot blew through in that PG shoe?
Yeah, it blew through. Like the bottom rubber sole split from the side of the shoe, and his foot went through that hole.
Okay, yeah. Then it's extremely obvious that they did not test for someone that big, having to land that fucking hard.
And then They claim that it was an isolated incident, but there is a review on actually their website for the shoe of just like a regular like player, like, you know, some rec league player who blew through it too.
Come on. Listen, I believe it's true because we have physical evidence, dude. The other day in here, I ripped off a piece of the bottom of my Nike shoe, man. These fucking shoes, I've had them now for 2 years, but I just recently started wearing them daily.
Hey, but then remember...
I took a piece of the bottom of my fucking shoe.
Remember when Nike first got the NBA jersey plug and all those jerseys were ripping?
Yeah. They're trying to win the ultralight battle.
But they're
sacrificing everything to do
quality
it.
Of it.
Yeah, because Under Armour came in and did that kind of shit right first. And so they're trying to fire back when it's just like, just be Nike, man. Like, it's okay. People still buy your old bulky shoes. Go back to that if you have to, if you can control the weight a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck cares about having the lightest shoe out there? Well, then let them fucking hoop without shoes.
Yeah, straight up. Fuck it. Yeah. Wear some Chucks.
Nah, don't die. Don't fucking really blow up your feet. Like, those things will just explode, combust as soon as you land.
Yeah, that's something right there, man.
Dude, yeah, that's pretty bad. No, but what were we talking about? iPhones, right?
Man, you know, speaking of phones, though.
Or Androids.
A couple years ago, this Florida resident, I guess.
Okay.
He was driving, you know, he drives to work every day, like this on the freeway and shit, right? And he should... Like, you know, you drive every day to work on the freeway, to and from work, right? Mm-hmm. And so many other people do, and there's probably a gang of people listening that do, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure everybody out there, including you, have just been driving and probably either been on their phone, texting, or looking at some shit and not probably driving the best you can. Or you're looking around and you see people that are doing that, right? Of course, we all
even
see that.
Or
just
changing the music sometimes.
Right. We all fall victim to it. Shit. We all see it. Well, one driver in Florida decided...
Oh, Florida again?
It's always Florida. He decided that he wasn't going to... Homie don't play that.
Homie don't play that how?
He was not having none of that shit. He got tired of so many near misses and all these like bad drivers that he actually...
he went vigilante style? He took it...
Almost. But in the most non-violent way possible.
Okay, let's hear it.
Right? So what he did is, well, essentially he got a cell phone blocker, a very, very high-powered one, right? And every day on his way to work, he just put it on in his car and drove to work and drove home from work. But it would put out a crazy radius of just like, it would just block all frequencies. Radio frequencies and fucking all kinds of shit. Right? So every day people will be driving and anybody
was he driving a UFO?
No, just a truck. But so everybody around him within the vicinity of him, all their phones didn't work.
Yeah, he just totally cut everything out.
Yeah, just completely cut everything off, right? And eventually he got caught, of course, right? Because that's the only way this story came out. But how he got caught was interesting because like Sprint didn't catch on. Like none of the main phone companies caught on to this shit. Metro PCS caught on.
Yeah.
They were like, man, you know what we noticed? Like they notified the FCC. They notified them that every day and during the week, Monday through Friday, at the same time, like twice a day, we lose signal here in this place. And they wanted to investigate to see what the issue is, right?
Oh shit, yeah.
And
the aliens were sucking our power.
The FCC, along with the local police department, they did this massive like
investigation,
pretty much, where they've got all these crazy radio frequency measuring devices and all this shit, and they specifically tracked him down to his truck, like driving like crazy shit, you know?
To the T, yeah.
Right,
You're spot on.
And, you know, obviously they pull him over and he admits to it, you know, because he didn't think it was like that crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But come to find out, he was fucking with the cell towers too, not just the phones around him. So he was blocking 911 calls and shit like that too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. I pretty much already had imagined that.
So the FCC fined him 48 grand.
Oh.
But he was doing it for 2 years. So he got away with it for 2 years.
Wow. That's pretty cool, though.
That's a crazy little phone story.
It's legit, though, because, dude, those little fucking devices, they're problems, dude.
Yeah.
They're legit problems for people. I mean, me and you included. Everybody's addicted to shit. It's like sugar.
Yeah.
You can't shake it.
No, that's true.
And I see it come out the most in, like, the younger humans around us. Like my son, for instance. Dude, I'll have a talk with him before I give it to him. Like, hey, 10 minutes. I'm going to put a timer. We're good. He's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, 10 minutes? That's a long fucking time. That sounds nice. He's like, yeah, we're fucking good. Yeah, don't worry about me.
10 minutes comes and goes, boy.
10 minutes, man, 10 minutes when you need 10 minutes is never 10 minutes.
Man.
Right? Time's tricky, huh? Yeah, so the fucking alarm goes off on the phone. Some annoying little shit, but he knows it already. So I just let it ring for a little while. I want him to notice. And he notices, and he's just like, and that face that, like, 10 minutes ago was like, yeah, the 10 minutes ago when time was just starting, the dawn of time. He was like, yeah, he was like, dude, I fucking love you. Yeah, no problem, that dude. At the end of those 10 minutes, time's up. Oh,
it's a whole different kid.
The fucking brow drops. It's just full blown. I mean, they rock their emotion totally on the outside, 100%. They don't give a fuck, but he just turns. That's and it's crazy. Just like, fuck. Sometimes it'll go good for 10 minutes. I'll be like, all right, I'll give you another 5. But it's because he has to do homework on there. They make him do math on there now and certain shit. And it's not even mandatory homework. It's just you have a certain goal that you have to hit by the end of the year. And it's up to you to do it at your pace.
Like a points goal?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Like it's a chart and it's letting you know, and you're passing levels, and you can even pass on to the next grade. Like for instance, he's in first grade, and when he was in kindergarten, he was already starting the first grade stuff at the end of the year.
That's why private school is the plug. That's why private school is the plug, because if you excel, you can excel. You can go forward. Yeah. In public school, if you excel,
I think it's just a different battle. I think in private school, it's the battle to keep them interested. Yeah. Because all of them just come out the gate because of how they're exposed to learning and stuff like that, and the teachers that they have, and maybe the curriculum a little bit. Like, they all come out the gate like, yeah, like, this is fun. Like, to be the smartest is the fun thing. Because I personally went to private school, and those were the battles that we had. Yeah, I mean, we were much more sheltered children than, for sure, the public school kids. But that's how we established social class there. Like, we were just like, oh my God, that's the fucking group that gets C's over there. Gross, man. Like, I don't want to fucking hang out with them. Like, what the fuck? Right. No, whatever. Yeah. But, so you always wanted to be with the A crowd because those were the popular cool kids, man. So you were trying your hardest to get fucking A's. For once in your life, that was like, yeah, like that was a mission. And then, I don't know where it changes, man. But at some point, you just fucking get over it. In the worst way. I think a lot of kids suffer from that.
I mean, I think
you just got to keep them interested.
A lot of times when I think about it, because, like, my little brother went to private school, too. Mm-hmm. My mom's, like, hustled to get him into private school and shit, because she saw, like, what I went through. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, man, like, she wished she could have done it for me, And it's like, man, I wish I would have done private school, too. Like, looking back, right?
Of course. In retrospect.
I mean, at the time, I'm like, I was
clarity.
Man, at the time, I was happy to be public school with all my homies and shit. Like, that was fun. Like, I wouldn't know the people I know today. I wouldn't know you. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even though you went to a private school, I wouldn't have known you because the only reason why I knew you is through a mutual friend, right?
Right. Exactly.
So what's crazy about it is, like, when I look back and it's like, man, like, the curriculum, the difference of curriculum that my brother went through versus what I went through is ridiculous. And it's not just because the change of times. Like, obviously, things get updated, of course, and you expect that natural progression
right.
of information. But it's just like, man, like, how structured it was, like how on point it was, but how smaller the classes were, how easier it was to get one-on-one time with the teacher, how more focused the teachers were, or
they
could not even
overload him
were,
early too.
but how focused the teachers could be. And yes, they did overload him very early.
Like,
you know,
my son, he's barely in first grade. He's already done 2 book reports.
Yeah, see, that's
like, what the fuck?
that's
like,
popping.
I don't think I'd be able to.
That's
I don't
poppin'.
think I was able to pull off a book report till like 4th or 5th grade. You know what I mean? What the
That's
fuck?
so popping though. That's
like, and even then to churn out like a page of writing when you were like in 4th grade. What?
yeah,
you were
I
tripping.
know. It was a
You're
lot.
like, what the fuck?
You
What
felt
am I
like it
gonna
was a
write
lot.
about?
Shit, I feel like a page of writing right now is a lot.
Yeah, but you can. but the difference is that I think as an adult you can have more complex thoughts, so you
Well-
could put more words to the paper.
Well, my
Right?
thing
As
too.
a kid, you're just gonna be like, I don't
Plus,
know what
now,
to write about, like long pause thinking talk.
well, now I get blank paper, non-line paper, so I
Yeah,
can just write big or
however
small.
the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
however you feel. Yeah.
That's what's great about being an adult. You can do whatever you want for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, well, that's the struggle too. That's why they get pissed, because they're like, I gotta be timed for my shit, and
Yeah.
he just looks at me like, you're on your fucking phone all day, motherfucker. Like, damn, he's right. He's right. So it's just like it allows them to be it allows him to play mirror for me,
Right.
and just be like, fuck, man, I need to chill on my phone a little bit. But it's like you said, but you also have that little bit in your subconscious that's like, I'm an adult and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So
what
I'm just gonna do it. Fuck, it sucks sometimes.
What is the hardest part about being a parent to you?
The hardest part about being a parent to me, I think, to be honest, it's not gonna be anything that's like technical, like cooking,
Right. No, I figured that.
providing it. It's mostly getting them. It's been a struggle with me lately to get them to control themselves emotionally. You forget how hard that is as a child.
Yeah.
Because to me, I can
That's interesting.
I can see him get mad and he rages the fuck out when he gets mad. Sometimes he rages the fuck out. Sometimes he gets so mad that it makes him cry. Right? He's very emotional, like anybody. Like just because you can't do anything. So it just like fucking, it almost just brings you to tears. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a talk with him and I'll be like, after I calm him down or whatever needs to happen to get him to chill out. Sometimes it might mean getting scolded too, because it's just that's not a way to do certain things, regardless. But anyways, regardless, it's just you try to explain to him and you're like, hey, I get mad too. I'm still human. I'm an adult too. I get mad. I get mad for stupid shit. I still get sad. All of these fucking emotions still hit me, but I'm able to react even to the feeling of them. You know what I mean? Like how you feel like when you're hungry and your body's telling you you're hungry and you go and you fucking eat and you're like, all right, I'm good. It's almost like that. Like that's how I feel like as an adult, you start feeling your emotions like that more of like in a logical matter. Like, like, fuck, I'm getting mad. Like, just get over it. Just get over it, bro. Or move on or whatever. And you're able to turn that switch off, and then you could just get used to it because you're like, duh, that's being a regular fucking adult. Like, I'm not doing anything magical. But then you try to explain it to them, and you see that they can't control it, and it's almost like, fuck. It's almost like you're just seeing them suffer because they can't control their emotions. So everything is intense. Everything is very intense.
So how do you, like, try to deal with it? Like what are some things that you've done that didn't work for you in regards to helping your son out, like to get through those situations? And what are some things that, or at least one thing that has worked?
Well, the obvious things, like sometimes just wanting to just word something, especially when like, I think sometimes, and I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but I used to just always think this anyways, that my son was very bright and smart. Like he just had it at a young age, but now that he's in school and the institution tells you that he's doing great in class, you're like, okay, oh shit, okay, maybe I was a little bit
of
right.
validation.
Yeah, like it wasn't just full on pride, because that was gonna happen anyway.
Right.
But it's just like, so, and then second, he's an only child, and I'm a single father who's around him most of the time, and if he's not around me because I work nights, he's with my parents, so he's constantly around adults. Right. I mean, you could probably relate, right?
Yeah.
You grew up for most of your life as as a single child.
Yeah, until about middle school or so.
Yeah, so you were around adults a lot at an early age.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
for sure.
you start talking like
Of
them.
course.
That becomes your biggest influence.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize how deeply you're influencing a child when he's an only child,
Right,
you know?
right.
Because he's in your mix all day long. It's not the same as just like if he was running around with his brother or his sister and they were just doing something in their room. They have no idea what the adults are doing, right?
Right.
This way, no. They're always there. So sometimes it's just difficult for me to just not be able to get over just telling him to get over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like stuff like that. But I think that's also like a problem for adults too. I think there's some adults that are like go-getter, very ambitious, very like strong, like have tough skin. And they're motivators, right? They think they're motivators and teachers. And sometimes they lose their understanding of feelings in becoming that person too, I think. Because they're the same people that, like, if you're going through something, they're just be like, come on, man, be tough and get fucking over it. And, and you know what I mean? And they're coming at you all aggro. And you're like, no, I understand that I need to be tough. And I get your message, but that's not helping me right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not necessarily helping me right now. But I understand it. You don't have to go crazy on me about it. And I think that's where sometimes I feel my child is like, sometimes I might
kind of
become
go
that guy.
extra.
Yeah, where I'm just like, come on, man. Like, get over it. Come on. Let's be tough. You know what I mean? Because I'm also at the same time trying to teach him to be a man.
Right.
But sometimes I have to play the motherly role too. So it's difficult. I think that's the craziest part really, is that I have to play dual roles sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But I mean,
yeah, I guess that's why I ask it as, how do you deal with it, not how should a parent deal with it, right?
No, because there's no right way, really.
And not only that, it's like everybody's situation is very different, right?
Totally,
Especially your situation is very different from another person that could be listening. So I don't know. It just kind of interests me for a second.
I mean,
I didn't mean to pry.
No, it doesn't matter, because it is an interesting thing, because I think that's how it changes a lot of people's lives too. When sometimes it goes that way, where it sometimes changes up people's lives because it forces structure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It forces you to develop structure no matter what.
Yeah, I seen that from a lot of...
Whereas, like, you didn't have it before, so it was just very easy to get around
to
shit.
Just do whatever
or
the
get
fuck.
away. Yeah. Or get away with convincing yourself to not do shit.
Right.
But once you're like, fuck, like, okay, I've had this job for like 10 plus years, and I always go on time, and my schedule's always been 9 to 5. I always wake up at 8, have my coffee. You know what I mean? You know your whole fucking routine, and you do it. But like, as soon as that becomes a routine that has to happen at home too, like now I have to wake up at 5 because the baby's up. I gotta feed him already, and maybe I'll drink a cup of coffee and see if I can survive for like an hour. Just don't let the kid die, and you're good.
Man, that's a crazy grind too. Just your schedule makes it wild too.
It's crazy. It's crazy regardless, but I think it's some of the shit that doesn't get thought about when people are gonna have kids too. Even people that are planning it, you know what I mean, and have stable jobs, and they're going for the whole thing. They're going for the fucking picket fence and all that noise. Like, I think it slips by them too. They just think it's gonna be this magical thing. And don't get me wrong, like, it's like a hard maybe like 2, maybe 3 years, and then like once you start being able to communicate with them like very proficiently, then
you have
you're
that
like
understanding.
Yeah, then he's just like another little human that hangs out with me. Like, that's cool. Yeah, he's like my homie. Yeah, he's like my little homie. So it's cool. It becomes and he's more independent too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not asking to be carried, or he's not crying ape shit like if he really wants something. You know what I mean? He might get whiny. You know what I mean? You might, and you're still gonna get a cry or two out of him. He's only 7, you know, but I think it more throws you off also because he acts so grown too. Like, sometimes when I see him like whining or whining, I'm like, you know what I mean? I kind of look at him and then I have to think about it, like, fuck, he is only 7, man. When I was 7, I was like a fucking fetus still. I didn't know shit. I still don't know shit, man. That's the point of the podcast. Oh, man. But yeah, no, I was nowhere near his level at 7. Like, he's where sometimes I think about it, I'm like, man, where would I be? Like, where his mind's at. And I was like, man, wasn't until I was like probably like 11, 12, legit.
And then plus, like, just the level of technology is crazy different.
Of course,
too. So
that's why he has access to information that we just didn't have access to. It doesn't matter.
Crazy.
Like, a majority of our information came like tribal shit, word of mouth from your fucking parents, dude. Yeah. From your parents or your friends' parents or your friends. Right. That's it. That's where the information came from. Like,
or books.
or books, but like really, like I don't think anybody was fucking with books at a young age as much as today.
I was.
No. I don't mean the average person. I just think back then, because back then there was no. It was hard to keep someone home back then. In terms of like the devices weren't good enough.
You go out and enjoy yourself in the world.
People were out. Yeah, people were out. That's where like
those days.
Yeah. And you wanted to be out. Like I remember wanting to be out all the fucking time.
Of course.
And now it's like, fuck, I can't wait to be home.
Yeah.
How times changed. But back then, man, you did not want to be home, not even for the first hour, like after you wake up, maybe you take a shower or whatever, and you kind of freshen up and you're kind of coming to. You're like, fuck, I got to get out of here. That's like right away. You're like, I got to get the fuck out of this house, man. Fuck this. Yeah, it's nice and sunny outside. It's no. That's just how it worked back then. It was a different world.
Yeah,
man.
so wild,
Before
man.
everybody got connected. It's crazy how we got to see both, though. I'm grateful for that. I'm legit grateful that I got to live through the transition.
On that cusp of just
where I saw both
change.
worlds. Yeah, where I literally saw both worlds.
Right.
Where it's to a point where it's even freaky for my son sometimes when I explain shit. Because he'll be like, because I'll just tell him something simple. Like, we didn't have phones in our pockets before. Like, they were just at home. And there was some on the streets that you had to put quarters in to fucking call on them. Or you could call collect, 1-800-COLLECT.
Man, that's probably
Don't fucking pick up the line. It's me. Come pick me up at
Oh, my God. That's so mind-blowing to a 7-year-old.
Yeah,
too,
he's like, wait, you didn't have phones? Like, I was like, and even when we did, there was no touch screens. You had to dial numbers. It was like they were used for calls. And he was just like, because to them, it's like having a computer in your pocket. It's a mini tablet, pretty much.
Yep.
It's a mini, really strong tablet. It's stronger than the computers we had at home in fucking 96 when America Online was sending you fucking free trial discs and you're going through the...
You've got mail.
Yeah, some crazy shit just to log on the internet to go on like 2 websites because it's going to take 10 hours to load.
You remember when Snoop did that shit?
What?
That You've Got Mail? Like, remember when they had a bunch of celebrities do the You've Got Mail
No,
shit?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that part?
I don't remember that.
Oh, man.
Shit.
Like, AOL had, like, a bunch of celebrities come in and do, like, You've Got Mail to say it.
And
like
you could
Snoop.
just use it?
Yeah, you could pick whichever one, I guess.
That's hilarious.
But it was, like, toward the end. That's probably why you never heard about it.
Yeah, because I
bowed
out of that shit quick.
I think that was, like, their last-ditch effort.
I hopped on Google pretty early. I enjoy... I'm not going to say, like, oh, I'm one of those fucking first people supporting Google. No. What it was about Google is I just enjoyed the simplicity of it. Like, all the other search engines were blasting you with a ton of news now.
Google's
all these
still
fucking
popping.
things. No, of course.
That's what's sad about it.
And that's why I always liked them. Because you would just go on the page and it's the exact same page you see today. Just the fucking search bar
with
and
the
Google.
search. That's it. That's all you need.
That's it. And back then there was Alta Vista, which had to have like fucking 20 million news stories that took forever to load because it was slow internet. So it's like to load any image, even if it was like a fucking... I think GIFs loaded faster back then. But anyway... To load a fucking image would take forever. And then they had MSN. That was the other one you could search on. That one was the first one to get loaded with news. I mean, it's a fucking news channel now. It's a news channel now. Right. It's not even what it originally was, which was a search engine. It was a search engine. Became a fucking news channel.
Yeah, for real? That's crazy.
Yeah, MSN was just a fucking search engine and an internet provider like AOL. It was AOL or MSN. Which disc were you going to fucking put in? Everybody put AOL because they had that fucking instant messenger.
Yeah.
You could chat with people and shit. Yeah, AIM. Oh, man.
AIM was popping.
That's a fucking classic.
AIM was popping.
AIM is a classic, man.
Kids don't know about that shit either.
Nah, kids don't know about that shit. And that was before, like, Tinder and all that shit, too. So
like,
you were trying to do some hookup shit back
kids,
then, too.
Look,
remember,
let me tell you
remember
something.
ASL?
We used to have to...
we used to have to pay age, sex, location, question mark.
We were limited on the amount of text messages we could send per month.
Yeah, nobody was sending text. And when people finally did start sending text, they had to get a different device to send text. Remember? The two-way pager?
Yeah.
That was when texting started. But it wasn't on your regular phone. You had to buy a separate texting device.
No, I mean, you could text on your regular
text on your phone, but you had to type through numbers.
Yeah.
This had a keyboard.
Yeah.
This was the first texting. Keyboard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the other shit you were like tapping.
Like the sidekick was popping.
Two. Yeah, and then the sidekick took it to that next level. And
then
people
flip.
Yeah, and then when it just went touchscreen, of course.
Then that was it.
That was it. Yeah, that changed an entire.
Yeah.
That changed the whole fucking world in a day. It's that weird. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so let's get to our top 5 for this week.
What top 5?
Let's do our top 5
Is
for
it
this
top
week.
5 time? Legit?
I think it is.
Holy shit. What are we going to do? What's the top 5?
We should do
Top 5.
what about, well, we mentioned this before. What about top 5 Samuel L. Jackson films?
Oh, I don't know. Off top, that it feels that one's
Kind of
too hard to think about.
It's kind of hard, huh?
Yeah, because it's too many movies. Because we said that it could be movies that he's not necessarily the star in, too. You mean like cameos? Top 5 Sam Jackson cameos.
Damn.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Like, that's over like 1 million films. Fuck that.
What about
What else you got?
top 5 heist films?
Ooh, there's been some pretty good fucking heist films.
Okay.
I wouldn't say throughout the years. There were some early ones that were kind of noir.
I would say throughout the years.
But they didn't have a lot in like 60s and 70s, did they? Maybe. Like Smokey and the Bandit and shit like that. I guess that's a heist film. Not really, though. A heist film has to be classified as like a planned out fucking heist, I think. In order to be considered a heist film. It can't just be like highway robbery. Like that's bandit shit.
Right. No, not
that's
bandit. Not bandit shit.
That's
Not
legit bandit shit. Okay.
Like it actually has to be like,
Like
a heist.
a
robbery.
Like,
a bank robbery or
like
a
Italian
train
job.
robbery.
Like Italian
Right.
job.
A car, you steal a car, it's gone in 60 seconds, right? Wouldn't that consider a heist movie?
Yeah.
They gotta
shit
steal
like
all
that.
those cars.
Ocean's 11, like that's a heist on a casino. Another heist on a casino is did you ever watch that movie 21? Where those fucking college kids
21.
get taken by Kevin Spacey. He's like the
21,
college professor. And
That's the gambling one?
Yeah,
Where he
yeah,
teaches
yeah,
them the numbers?
yeah, they're just counting numbers.
Yeah.
So they're I guess they're running a heist on that casino.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's not a full
They're
blown
running
heist
game.
movie.
Yeah, they're just running game on them.
They're running game on them
anything.
for sure. But yeah.
Yeah.
What about Point Break?
Point Break was popping. The original one.
Yeah, Keanu and Swayze.
Not the remake they just did.
No. I don't even know who's in that fucking remake or what year it came out. I don't give a fuck about that. Point Break only came out in 1991 with a fresh young ass Keanu, dude. And Patrick Swayze was always he was the man back then.
Jackie Brown and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Some Tarantino.
Those definitely heist, and Tarantino's good at the heist film.
Yeah, he got that shit.
Maybe one of the best. Yeah.
He got that shit.
Maybe one of the best. There's some like UK ones like Snatch and Lock, Stock and
like
Two
Dex.
Smoking Barrels. Yeah.
You like Dex?
With Vinnie Jones from Wimbledon AFC. Hey. Remember that movie Three Kings with Ice Cube and Marky Mark?
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to steal the fucking gold. That's
They're like in the desert and shit.
Yeah, who's the third guy in there? It's fucking Ice Cube, Marky Mark, and Clooney. Yeah, there you go. Dude, that's a legit heist one.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
They try to come up on that gold.
They come up too. Yeah, they come up fat. Yeah, that was tight.
Fuck.
That was a good role for Ice Cube too, I thought too.
That was the first, like, I think, serious acting role. I think he had just done, like, funny shit before that, like the Fridays series. And, like, weird shit, like, where he's a detective in Miami or some shit.
Anaconda.
Yeah, fuck
him
that.
and J-Lo.
That's like early, early Dwayne Johnson. Like, he was just being put in movies just to be a swole guy, like,
That's kind of how he is now, pretty much.
No, he is, but now he's taken on the full-blown, like, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, like, torch, you know what I mean? Like, he's the next action guy.
I guess.
Blockbuster guy. There's no real action guy anymore. It's the best blockbuster guy. He's going to be hot for, like, a year or two. And, yeah. And then everybody's just going to go back to,
There's a recent one that was actually pretty decent.
What's it called?
Den of Thieves. It was actually shot here in Gardena. A lot of it. And it's got 50 Cent, Gerard Butler, and O'Shea Jackson Jr., a.k.a. Ice Cube 2.0.
Baby Ice Cube.
Yeah, Baby
Speaking
Cube.
of the fucking devil.
A.k.a. Baby Cube.
Wow. What about movies like The Usual Suspects?
That's
a fucking
tight.
classic.
That's tight.
Dude, that's a fucking classic. And I've never even seen the original, like the 50s one. That one's probably pretty fucking good,
I haven't seen that one either.
actually.
I haven't seen that one either.
I got to check that out. Denzel's always in some heist bullshit, like Inside Man.
Inside Man is one of my
Inside
favorites.
Man. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
I like that. The Town with fucking Affleck. There's
Yeah.
some films that Affleck
He
does
directed
all right
it.
in.
He directed that too.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
that's
It's
probably
like
why That's probably why he did all right. He put himself on
and
Shine.
it's a fucking Boston film.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
They
It's
try to
fucking
rob
Boston.
fucking what you call the stadium and shit.
Yeah. There was one with Ryan Gosling that came out in 2013. I don't know if you saw that one. It was a pretty interesting one. I don't think it got a lot of good reviews from like critics and or when it was in box office, but I just saw it randomly on HBO. It's called The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, I always see that. I've seen it
fucking
on HBO, but I haven't watched it.
Dude, watch it. It's a pretty good fucking
Yeah?
movie. And Ryan Gosling
Where he's
actually
just all
acts,
tatted up. And he looks like,
he acts his ass off in that movie,
Yeah,
actually. He does a
okay.
pretty good job. Yeah, and he's like this tatted like dude that just rides this dirt bike, like kind of like an enduro, a white one.
Oh shit!
And he just rocks it through this city. I think I want to say he just got out of prison or something, and
Yeah, he got all those like prison tats.
Yeah,
like,
and
that's what I seen.
he kind of comes home to see his girl and whatever, and he can't find a job. He's trying to go legit. Like, he keeps putting in applications everywhere and nothing works. So, like, some dude kind of catches hold of him riding in the fucking woods.
Oh shit!
And dude's like, hey, man, we could make a lot of money if we just start doing jobs. And it was cool because he would roll out in the Enduro, right? And the other dude drove one of those little stocky, like, kind of like, those cargo trucks, right? It's like a mini 18-wheeler, like those super mini ones.
Oh, just like a box truck.
Yeah, a box truck. There you go. A box truck. And so as soon as dude would hit the corner, he'd come out of like the fucking woods. With that box truck, he would lay down like a lift gate that would create a ramp, and homeboy would just ride in there and fucking close the back. And then they'd just be driving normal, and the cops would just drive by them and whatever. It was a dope-ass setup, dude.
Damn.
It was a good fucking movie. Yeah. At first, I was really, like, being really harsh on it, like, for the first fucking 30 minutes to an hour, because I was just like, man, fuck Ryan Gosling. I wasn't a Ryan Gosling fan at the time.
I feel it.
And I was just like, I don't really want to watch this. He doesn't seem like the bad boy type. But then once I seen how they were developing everything and the shit that he was going through to kind of become that, it reminded me of a French film called L'Argent. We talked about it the other day.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
yeah, it was when I see like old classic films and like new shit like that I would have never gave a chance. I'm like, it kind of just blows my mind, and it changes the way that I perceive like future shit. I guess.
No, I feel it.
It does like a little mind fuck, like a mind flip, not a mind fuck, but a mind flip. Like wait a minute, like whoa, it was an interesting movie though. The Place Behind the Pines with Ryan Gosling came out.
I wonder if it's still on HBO. I think it might still be on HBO.
If it is, watch that shit tonight.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I might
Trust
have
me.
to. A couple of films that I like too are The Sting and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Okay.
Both got Robert Redford and Paul Newman, and both were directed by George Roy
Classic.
Hill.
Jeez.
And they're both, so it's like it has that same feel, the same, like they're both very similar in that aspect where it's all the same guys working together again. So they have that chemistry, and you can feel it in both movies. Like that.
Yeah, it's old world
that they enjoy
cinema, and it's
Yeah.
trying to give you a more human element by
Right.
providing
And they
like,
enjoy
this
it. You could tell-
camaraderie between three guys.
Right, you could tell they do a good job together. So,
Yeah, whether they're good or bad, right?
So those are pretty good heist films. I'd consider them heist films for sure.
Yeah, that's good. So you got a top 5?
I do have a top 5, actually.
You want to go or you want me to go?
I could lead if you want.
Because I got my top 5 ready. But
You
go,
got it?
Go.
Yeah, I could lead.
Go.
So
Go straight.
we already talked about a lot of these. I actually do have one more honorable mention, and that's The Killing from Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
You ever seen The Killing?
Yeah. I've seen
Okay,
The Killing. The
alright.
Killing is a very classic movie.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah.
I mean,
It's Kubrick. What do you expect?
it's more likely the legit number 1 heist movie of all time. Probably. I
don't know.
I mean on like legit lists. More than likely, you're probably gonna see The Killing up there.
Maybe. Yeah,
should be
probably.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
You're not gonna see it on mine, but
No,
it's
no,
an
no,
honorable
not on
mention. That's for
yours,
sure. I just wanted to
sure.
mention it because it's
Like
one
some
that
Academy shit.
because I had a bunch written down and it was just one I wanted to say because it's as good as you're saying, pretty
Yeah.
much, but it just doesn't fit my list. So.
I got you. Okay.
But at number 5, I have Inception.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's really not much to say about that. Everybody's pretty much seen Inception, but If you haven't, essentially, it's a heist for some information in someone's mind.
Basically, Leonardo DiCaprio can enter people's dreams to get information.
Yeah.
To extract information.
Yeah. So
And
the big pull of the movie is they're trying to extract some information. So technically, that's a heist.
But it almost seems like the perfect crime, which makes
Right.
is what really makes it the
Right.
the heist. But yeah, it gets interesting because it's not as easy as it seems.
Yeah,
right.
So
as usual.
I definitely enjoy that movie, and it always has the trippy visuals and all the cool extra weirded, confusing mental game shit that Christopher Nolan's good for.
Yeah,
so
Chris Nolan's. He's
if you haven't seen
really
it, you're sleeping. Anyway,
all right, number 4.
Number 4, Ocean's 11, 2001 version though, the remake with Clooney, Brad Pitt, the squad,
Pitt, you know, all these famous.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a loaded cast.
Dude, I love that fucking movie. That shit's so fucking funny. Like,
that one didn't make my list, but I enjoyed it.
I love the pacing of it. I love the story of it. I love, obviously the acting is great, but I thought the writing for each character was great, not just the acting within it. And I thought how everything tied together. I mean, it was just a funny heist film.
Yeah,
but it was still a heist
well
film.
Done, and
it was very well done.
Top-notch actors,
yes.
And it was a good movie for its time, I think.
Yeah, well, for 2001, that's solid. That's a solid. That's a solid one.
I could say I enjoyed it.
Number 3, I have Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief.
Okay.
With Cary Grant and Grace Kelly.
Classic.
Dude, that movie is like, that's my favorite Hitchcock film for sure too.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So that I don't know.
We got to do a top 5 Hitchcock though.
Yeah, we should. That's a good list.
That's a good one because I have a few. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do another page of list for that. But yeah, because there's so many birds and
North by Northwest.
Like,
shit,
dude, like
Notorious.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, no, Hitchcock, that's a fun
and
one.
he put in work. Like, he dropped mad movies. So there's a lot to pick and choose from right there. That's a good list, actually. But yeah, so at number 3, I have Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief. It came out in 1955 for those who are unaware of it. It's a fucking really dope movie about a cat burglar and this chick, and it's like a little bit of a love story mixed in with a little bit of Alfred Hitchcock's twist that he always likes to throw in. So it's a really, really interesting and funny and very well-paced movie. I really like it.
Classic.
At number 2, I have Spike Lee's Inside Man.
Okay.
That is, to me, the greatest bank robbery movie ever made.
What is your favorite part of that movie?
The fact that he says he's going to walk out the front door and he walks out the front door. Oh, did I spoil that?
Yeah, you just... Spoiler!
Well, the movie came out in 2003, 2004? You guys should have been seeing it. If you haven't, I'm sorry. I mean, there's got to be a statute of limitations.
No. You just pretty much served as the inside man, right?
Right? I mean...
You gave out the inside info. That's it. It's sealed up. What do you got for...
Sorry if I ruined it for you.
What do you got for number 1?
Sorry if I ruined it for you. But there's got to be a statute of limitations on spoilers. There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a certain distance where we're like, okay, there's no more need for spoiler alert.
I would say like a year.
Okay, so this movie came out over 10 years ago.
No, but that's me saying a year.
Okay.
Like, if it got voted in, people would be like, 5 years.
That's fine. It still passes that. It still passes that criteria. And at number 1, I have the best heist movie ever made. The one that probably was either inspired by a real event or inspired a real event.
Whoa, this is
that
freaking me out.
We haven't double checked on yet, so we don't want to make a full claim on that. But at number 1, I have Michael Mann's Heat.
Heat. Miami Heat?
No.
Latino Heat.
LA Heat.
All right.
Oh, that movie, man. The dinner scene. The restaurant scene between Al Pacino.
It seems like a lot of these heist films have a restaurant scene, though.
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's true. But I'm talking about this.
No. I know. I'm just saying, like, it made me think about it. I was like, oh, that's a classic shot.
With De Niro and Pacino, that one scene, that's epic as fuck. And then obviously the ending scenes, and then in the middle where they have the shootout scene. Oh man, like that movie is fucking epic. In the beginning too, shit, the armored truck heist in the beginning was popping. That movie is
that movie just on so many levels, and
so popping.
Like, it's just almost shot for shot. It's just an amazing.
And
movie.
then just like
Natalie Portman's in that too. Yeah.
Just like Ocean's 11, the fucking story is equally as matched to its acting.
Yeah.
Right. The story was solid. And the acting was
these
just
are some
great
solid
actors. That's
we
what I'm
got
saying.
Pacino, De Niro,
It's a
and
great
Val Kilmer.
Right.
Man,
It's a great squad. Right.
Dude, that's a big three right there.
So that's
a big three. That's
my top 5. So from 5, I got Inception. 4, I got Ocean's 11 from 2001. At 3, I got Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief. At 2, I got Spike Lee's Inside Man. And number 1, I got Michael Mann's Heat.
All right. Nice. All right. Fuck it.
So let's hear your 5.
Let me do mine. So I'm gonna start the same at the bottom. Damn. And so at number 5, I got Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh, poppin'.
And the reason I put that one on there because I caught it by accident, kind of. It was just like I think my parents at the time had Black Box. Shout out to Black Box.
Shit.
That means you could just get. It was this little fucking rigged box that cable dudes would sell on the side to make money.
I remember that.
And you'd plug in your cable wire into it, and you'd get all the fucking channels, everything, even the fucking porn channels.
Damn.
Yeah.
You were getting lit, huh?
Dude, at 13, 14.
He said, yeah.
Lighten that shit up, dude. Yeah, you better be careful. You better walk in there with some eye gear or some shit. You know what I mean? We're wilding at that age at the Black Box. Yeah, it's going down. But anyway, so I think I caught that one on like HBO late night at Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, man. And
Guy Ritchie, right?
Yeah, it's Guy Ritchie, and it's kind of got like a star-studded UK cast.
Yeah, UK star-studded cast.
Yeah, it's got like Jason Statham and Vinnie Jones and those kind of characters, and it's basically like like a weird little local gangster heist movie, and that they're just gonna go rob some drug dealers. Like, yeah,
I like that though. It's
a
great small story. It doesn't have to be a big bank heist, or you don't have to. You know what?
Well, what's beautiful about it is that it's very Tarantino-esque in that you see everything play out through everybody's different individual perspective. Like the guys that are searching for the guys that took the last bit of money, or that think that they owe them, or this crime boss. You know what I mean? You're seeing it from all these different angles, but it's the same story. And that's what really grabbed me about it when I first fucking saw it. I was like, whoa. I was like, that was an exciting film because it kept me glued to the TV. And it has those sharp cuts. It's very aware of the film it's trying to be in terms of it's just like it wants to be action-packed and just crazy.
But then like
keep you immersed.
At that time too, it was a lot of that quick jump cut type of.
Yeah, we didn't. The internet wasn't flying as fast as it is right now. You know what I mean? Like it was still. Put it this way: to some people, it was still a chore to get on the internet. You would ask people if they had internet. How about that? Remember you used to have to ask people that? Like,
hey, do
you have internet? Like, nah. I think we do. We have a computer. Some people sometimes didn't know. Yeah, they were like, I think so. I don't know. And it's like, nah, don't fuck up your phone line for me. It's cool. Your parents got to make phone calls. And number 4, I had Jackie Brown. That's just a fucking classic.
Poppin'.
You had that on your list, right?
No, it's not on my list, but it was in an honorable mention.
Okay, yeah. Jackie Brown is just a classic Tarantino film, and it's also very like local, and it's locally filmed.
It's probably his best film, realistically, in terms of pacing and attention to detail and trying to get things right. I think it might be his best film.
Possibly. It just gets overlooked because it's not his most exciting film.
Right, exactly.
But I think that's what I like about it.
I think it's his most polished film. How about that?
Yeah, where it's a story about people.
It felt like he tried to get it right.
Yeah, and it's more about the lives of these people intersecting, regardless of if it's happening because of criminal actions or, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a different, I guess, take on it. At number 3, I have one that matches your list, Inception. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's just one of the most creative heists.
Damn, you have it at 3?
Yeah, I have it at 3.
That's popping.
I really liked Inception the first time I fucking saw it.
I love that movie too. That's why obviously it made my list.
So much so that I went and watched the film that inspired it, which is a Japanese anime film called Paprika.
Oh, okay.
And it's about these like scientists that are working in this lab to make this machine where like people, I think for therapeutic reasons, like they would have someone enter your dreams and just kind of help you get through shit. Like whether it was trauma because you were depressed or because it was in a hospital. They were doing it in a hospital. And someone starts stealing those dream machines. And so they're robbing people by jumping into their dreams.
Damn, that's
Same
poppin'.
shit, but it's done anime style, so they have full control of like all of the visuals. Right. So they make it really trippy. It's like a fucking shroom trip, dude.
That's crazy.
It's a great anime film. If you haven't seen it, Paprika. I don't remember what year it came out, but it's basically the film that inspired Inception. It's amazing.
That's poppin'.
It's an amazing film. Number 2, I have another Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs. I mean, come on. Yeah, come on. It's almost crazy to me that it's not number 1. That's the first, I think, heist film that really stuck with me for a long time. Like, because I saw it in my adolescence. You know what I mean? I saw I was maybe 12 years old when I first saw it, and I don't think I appreciated it. I think I was just like, man, that was a boring fucking film. You know what I mean? I just caught it
because you don't see no action, it's just talking.
Because I was like, man, I probably had read the info and it was like, oh, heist film about, you know what I mean? A sabotage or a double cross, right? And you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? And at that time, you're used to seeing Rambo, you know what I mean? You're used to seeing wild shit, Schwarzenegger, Conan, Terminator.
You're ready to see some fools blow some shit up.
Yeah, you wanted to see some wild shit, Predator, so all that Van Damme goodness. But, yeah, after a few viewings after that, maybe when I was 14, 15, around that time, I guess you could still call that prepubescent. Still what the fuck's going on? But I think I saw it again and I was like, whoa, it finally hit me how kind of complex that story was in terms of dude, you're seeing all of this develop into this moment, right? Where it's just this guy's fighting for his life, so it's making him question certain moves. It's wild. It's a wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's a wild take on questioning your humanity, which those are always. I'm always a fan of the more psychological films. That theme runs rampant in the shit that I like. You know what I mean? It just has to whoa, yeah, what did all of that even matter? You know what I mean? But anyways, and at number 1, I have another one that matches your list, and that is Heat.
Yeah, that's number 1 for sure.
Come on, Heat is just that movie that I was looking for when I fucking first watched Reservoir Dogs. Yeah,
exactly.
It was Heat because that shit was just action packed, but also well acted. Right. Most action movies at that time, like we said, it was dudes that couldn't even speak fucking proper English, even if they fucking were just to say hello to you.
Chopper.
Yeah, hello.
Get to the chopper.
What the fuck? Bless you. You know what I mean? What the fuck is that? No. So those guys were never going to be convincing actors, but they were cool to watch still. Right. True Lies was fucking popping, dude.
Yeah, but that's later in his career when he already kind of got it going, though.
That was a great fucking... That's another top 5, though. Yeah. But no,
I know. I was actually thinking of that when you were talking about this top 5. I was thinking about... I was like, damn, True Lies. I for real was thinking about True Lies. I was like, damn, True Lies was a popping ass action movie.
Oh man,
like, damn, we should probably do
Schwarzenegger. We could do Stallone ones.
I was thinking we could either do Schwarzenegger or we could do top 5 action movies too.
Of the 90s.
Damn,
ooh,
so popping.
Shit. No, that's a good. But anyways, let me repeat my list from top to bottom. So at 1, I have Heat. 2, Reservoir Dogs. 3, Inception. 4, Jackie Brown. And 5, Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels, baby.
And my 5 are at 1, I got Heat. 2, I got Inside Man. 3, To Catch a Thief by Alfred Hitchcock. 4, Ocean's 11, the remake. And 5, Inception. I like your list, though, too.
These are some good lists. This was a good
It's just your list got too much Tarantino for me.
Yeah, no. Tarantino was a huge influence on me.
Yeah,
I stopped liking films somewhere around the time when Tarantino came back after Reservoir, because he did Reservoir Dogs pretty fucking early. I think that was 92.
Yeah,
or
something
94.
like that.
Yeah, 92. So, like I said, when I first saw it, I was still really young.
Yeah.
At that time, so I was like, no thanks, fuck this. I want to go see some dudes getting shot or something crazy, Some ultra violence. This is pre-internet. But no, and then Tarantino came back around, and I think the thing that stuck with me about Tarantino is that he really, first of all, it was also a time when I was getting into foreign films too, like foreign masters films, and Tarantino's heavily influenced by those guys.
Yeah.
More than people think. They think he's just influenced by early action and
no.
grindhouse films, but he's not. That's more Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But Tarantino's more influenced by European cinema. European, Russian, and Asian cinema. World cinema, pretty much.
Italian
Classics.
shit.
And
too.
Italian shit,
A
yeah.
lot of spaghetti shit.
Like, I watch a
Spaghetti
lot of...
westerns.
Oh, yeah. Well, the
A lot of
spaghetti
that shit.
westerns just took over here.
But I'm saying a lot of that for him, like a lot of... He likes that shit. And he likes to incorporate that kind of shit
well,
and everything. And then,
his
obviously...
last western was a direct copy of The Great Silence.
Right.
What was the name of that? The fucking... The one where they're in the fucking cabin in the snow. What is that shit
I don't know.
called?
I fell asleep watching that shit.
Oh, man. Well, anyways, that's a direct copy of The Great Silence. Go watch The Great Silence. It's in Italian. It's a legit Italian film. It's not just a spaghetti western that was released in U.S. And, yeah, it's that movie almost verbatim. Same shit. It's bounty hunters, and they have to get picked up because it's snowed in, and they end up getting taken to a cabin. A couple of the bounty hunters already have bodies loaded up, and tension just builds up in that cabin.
Oh, shit.
And people feel like they're getting fucking double-crossed.
So it's pretty much the same
It's the exact same fucking film.
That's
exact same fucking film.
Just with a different name.
Just with a different name. Well, because one of the dudes that ends up at that fucking cabin, too, is called The Great Silence. He's a mute. He never talks. He just chills, but he's got the fastest fucking gun in the fucking West. Oh, he's fucking slick. And he has a badass gun, too. It looks like one of those German Rugers and shit. Yeah, man. It's a fucking cool film. But, yeah.
All right, well, I guess that wraps up episode 6 of the We Don't Know Stuff podcast.
All right.
You guys can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the socials.
That noise. Yeah.
All the socials. Follow us, like our shit, subscribe, talk some shit.
Yeah, talk some shit, you know. Double tap with those thumbs, whatever you gotta do.
Yep. And have a good weekend, folks. We out.
Peace.